Okay, so recently GGG had an interview with Zizaran, and just to get it out of the way, I really appreciate all parties involved in that interview. Zizaran, Jonathan, and Mark, thank you very much for having a difficult conversation on behalf of the community and their concerns. I am not an ambassador of the community, by the way. This is just me saying thank you on a personal level. I really, really appreciate that. I was uneasy going into the interview, and it certainly quelled some of my concerns. Now then, with that being said, the interview definitely started out a little rocky, but by the end of it, it ended on a positive note. Everybody was communicating, tossing around ideas about like what could be potential solutions, timelines on when we could expect those solutions. And honestly, those timelines is one of the most impressive things because we're looking at them. Literally yesterday was the interview, and then now we are looking at upcoming changes that have already been implemented. This is an old post. It dropped last night, and I was like, I'm too tired to read this right now, so I'm going through it now. Let's go ahead and read through them. Today we are continuing to work on changes based on player feedback, and this is a list of the changes that we have finished internally. We will be deploying the following changes over the next few days. This is just a list of the changes that have been made so far. These are not the only changes we are investigating, and they do not represent a full list of what players are reporting to us. I like that. Just a little bit of an asterisk. Now that we have a lot of nerfs all out of the way, we can concentrate on buffing things that are not performing well. Thank you. Sorceress, holy tongue twister, sorceress specific changes. Sorcerer sells seashells down by the seashore. Arc now does a lightning explosion when it hits a shocked enemy but can no longer shock. It does not consume the shock. Cool. That's just a straight up AoE buff. Eye of Winter now gains bonus elemental damage when passing through other elemental orbs like Solar Orb, Orb of Storms, or Frost Bomb. Combo gameplay. We'll see how it feels. Incinerate's exposure duration has been increased to 8 seconds from 2 seconds. That's a huge buff. Mana Tempest can now be used with all spells and has been changed to cause Empower spells to split to additional targets instead of chaining or forking. Split is a more powerful mechanic, so that one we'll have to see just how crazy people can lift it up to be. Frostbolt explosion radius has been increased by 50%. Big ol' AoE buff. Ice Nova's freeze buildup has been increased significantly. No number there, but significant. Frost Bomb exposure duration has been increased to 8 seconds from 5 seconds. I think whenever they say significantly, the math is just like too complicated maybe for them to like, hey, this is how we like changed the numbers, and it actually involves a like formula to reach the final number, so we're just going to tell you it went up by a lot. That's my thought process behind that. Mana Remnants has been changed to work with other elemental ailments than just shock. Okay, so a variety quality of life there for Mana Remnants. We are lowering the delay for ignites spreading from sources such as wildfire support from 1 second to 1 second from 2 seconds. I had it backwards. But the radius has been decreased slightly. I don't play with wildfire, so I think that's for, oh, who's it? I think that changes for probably Perfect Strike Ignite builds, maybe? No, that's from the Sorcerer section. I'm stupid. Who's that for? I don't know. Are there Ignite Sorceress builds? Bleed, Chaos Inoculation. Energy Shield no longer prevents bleeding from being applied. That's cool. I didn't really ever spec into bleeding, but I did notice that as well. I was like, I have to get through the energy shield first. Chaos Inoculation now prevents bleeding. Very cool. Passive clusters that grant you additional stun threshold based on your maximum energy shield now also increase your ailment threshold, so you will no longer be ignited, chilled, frost, shocked as often while using CI if you take these passives. Cool. Huge Chaos Inoculation buff there. Sorry, I'm yawning a lot. Huntress specific changes. These are for us, dude. Parried enemies can no longer evade your attacks. Okay, we don't parry like I said earlier. The spear stuck in enemies by rapid assault now always bleeds on hit when you detonate it. The AoE has been increased by 20% and the detonate does 67% more damage. Can Can I get like a detonating skill that isn't a lightning ability? Can I get like a bleed detonating skill? Like why doesn't Blood Rush or whatever it's called detonate spears stuck in the target, but the lightning skill does? Spearfield's duration has been increased to 10 seconds from 6. That's really nice. That's like way bigger of a change than I think people realize. And then dealing 30% more damage by level 20. I thought its damage was fine. It's a mechanically sound skill, but now it's just gonna... Spearfield's gonna pop off if you ask me. Herald of Blood no longer deletes the corpses of rares or uniques, allowing you to use Ritual of Sacrifice on the rares. Quick emphasis on Spearfield popping off though. Spearfield is a real combo skill. Like I genuinely think this is another POE2 skill that they've gotten right, and the reason being is like it's very situationally dependent. If something is approaching you, it does amazing, massive damage. But if something is not approaching you, it does zilch. It does almost no damage. So I really, really love Spearfield. Just to make a quick to the side appreciation. No longer deletes corpses, allowing you to use Ritual Sacrifice on the rares. I am really glad I swapped away from Ritualist early on. Amazon, baby. Warrior-specific changes. Temper weapon on Smith of Kitava adds 3 empowerments per strike to your weapon and is 25% faster. The damage might need to come down a little. We'll see how people feel. 25% faster might not be enough. There should be something like 1 hit, right? Like you should, boom, or like just bash your shield or something. They've got a shield bash animation too. Why isn't it just that? Armor break being applied to players by monsters. Stop yelling! By monsters no longer has the 20% extra physical damage modifier that was intended to only be a buff to players, and we have also reduced its duration to 4 seconds from 12. In addition, there was a bug where partial armor breaks were never removed on the player. So there was an oversight in terms of debuff being applied to players. Well, glad that's gone. Stormcaller Arrow now proliferates shocks to nearby enemies in a small radius and has its AoE radius by 50%. Lightning Rod damage has been increased by 30% and their duration has been increased to 20 seconds. Lightning Arrow has had the radius at which it arcs to targets increased by 50%. Tornado Shot maximum duration has been increased to 15 seconds. I don't really play Ranger. I tried to level through the campaign on that and I was like, gosh, I don't want to use a bow. It's just not like what I wanted to do, so I stayed away from it. Are any of these nerfs? Increased. No, it's just buffs. Just buffs for Ranger. They're eating good. They looked good before the patch notes, and now they're getting buffs too. Play Ranger. We have added a support gem called Inhibitor that prevents charges being consumed, but increases the damage of the supported skill by 4% for each type of charge you have. That's pretty cool. Zizaran was talking about how somebody in his chat recommended that, and that it literally happened. So maybe for my shortlist change ideas, I need to go over to Zizaran's chat. I'm kidding. We've since found that the implementation for the increased damage per type of charge to not be feasible in the time frame that we want the support gem to be released, and the core of the design of support is an important tool to get into the hands of players, so we will be releasing it without that stat present. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if they can't get it to work the way that it's supposed to, then put it back in the oven. Delirium changes, but that's cool that they're actually doing it, because that is like a literal fan suggestion. Delirium encounters now last approximately 2.5 times longer. And I haven't really encountered enough Delirium to know if that's good. We've added, I mean, it's obviously good. Everybody wants Delirium to last longer, but That one's like over my head. Cool, thumbs up. Crafting. We've added several Artificer's Orbs to fixed locations throughout the campaign to allow you to craft with them more often. We have also added runes for attributes, allowing you to fix early game requirement issues. We are also updating all runes to also apply to wands and staves. This work will require adding specific mods for these items. We are unsure if soul cores and talismans will be able to be added to the excuse me, will be able to be added at the same time, but it is our intention to attempt to make this change. I don't really care about the attributes. Attribute requirements shouldn't require me to have, like, I get that they're suffix on gear. I don't think that it should be possible to roll attribute on your weapons, just to get that out of the way. And then I really do think that attribute requirements of skills are just still way too high. So while that these new runes aren't bad, right? Like, I'm not going to say that these runes shouldn't be in the game, because there should be attribute stacking builds, even though they just like chopped their legs off. I don't really feel like it will help address the attribute concern enough for them to make that aspect feel good. I guess I just am trying to say I don't really know what these runes are for if they're going to nerf attribute stacking so heavily. We are also updating all runes to also apply to wands and staves. This work we're requiring specific mods. I think I already read through that. But wait, can you not put runes in wands and staves? News to me. Finding rares and endgame. During endgame, a common issue is missing a rare in the corner of the map. I guess I'm just sleepy. I didn't sleep very well. You didn't happen to explore. In order to mitigate this issue, we have changed rares to show up on the minimap at all times. Yes! Hell yeah! Hell yeah, man. That's nice. Very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. We learned about it in Metamorph, and we've been wanting it ever since. This is a reason to play POE2 officially. For real, I'm not joking. Like, as silly as it seems, like, this really will make the game feel better. If they want the game to be the way that it is, it's about providing solutions for the reason that the way that it is, right? Like, if you got to kill all rares, show me where they are. Simple as. Matlan Waterways. We have made a change to the Matlan Waterways to merge some sections of water together, reducing the average number of levers that you will encounter while playing it by 6 levers. Thank you. I definitely have not enjoyed how long that map feels sometimes, and the levers are just a little clunky. But the levers are also like low priority, so hey, thanks for taking a pass at it. But it's not really like my biggest concern. I'm gonna go over my biggest concerns on my little short list here at the end of this. Monster speed. One of the issues that is often reported is getting swarmed by monsters. We're currently doing a pass to investigate this issue and can probably talk about specific changes tomorrow, but the changes are likely to be targeted at specific monsters that are too difficult, especially in zones that have a lot of fast monsters. I appreciate that. We've absolutely been swarmed multiple times throughout our 2 campaign playthroughs during the 0.2.0 launch. A note about the ritual exploit. Recently there was an exploit involving reducing the deferral cost of ritual items in combination with using a unique tablet that allows for unlimited rerolls. This occurred during the middle of the night, and unfortunately due to an internal miscommunication, we didn't fix the exploit until around 8 hours after. We have banned 301 accounts, holy crap, that were clearly exploiting this, and they will remain banned until the end of the current league. Thankfully, the economic impact outside of the banned accounts is relatively small. And that's all the changes that we have finished today. Excuse me. Rate the burp. The changes in this post will be deployed over the next few days, but we should have more to report tomorrow. Thank you, GGG. A banger set of changes, and they said we've got more to look forward to today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really, I know I said it at the start, but I also want to say it at the end here. Thank you to all three of you for going through that interview and working on all of these changes. Mark, Jonathan, I know you probably don't get much thanks from the community, but thank you for being willing to make changes. I genuinely do appreciate this. It is one of the reasons why I fell in love with Grinding Gear Games as a company and Path of Exile as a game. So, lightning round. I've got a short list of changes that I think could potentially make the game better right here in my hands. I've wrote them down as they've come to me over the past few days. GGG, if you're watching this video, please hear me out in this section of the video. So, crafting. Easy way to make crafting feel a little bit better for everybody is just prune some of the modifiers you know that nobody is ever going to be happy to see. Whether that is like mana gained after killing an enemy on your weapon or, whatever. What's another one? I'm not really ever happy to see attributes pop up after Exalt slamming my weapons. I'm sure there may be someone out there that's like, yes, my attribute stacking build got more attributes, but doesn't really ever do it for me. And if they are going to try to maintain the loot scarcity angle, they should prune some of the modifiers that make that scarcity feel way, way worse, right? I don't think scarcity is all that bad, but scarcity can suddenly become a nightmare whenever your opportunity to finally have something good happen always results in failure due to the pool of modifiers being so poor. Low availability of resistance modifiers is also a problem. That's pretty simple. Just raise the weighting that resistance modifiers have on our gear slots. Because I'm like level 58 right now. I'm in Cruel Act 2, and my resistances are absolutely atrocious. I'm constantly trying to craft my weapons because I keep failing. Like those exalted orbs I said, just keep giving me such wonderful modifiers. And as a result, I can never really craft my gear because I'm constantly starved of exalted orbs and regals. Anyways, so bump up those resistance values if you don't mind. Raise the damage effectiveness of different skills. I can really talk and talk and talk about this, but a simple way to wrap a ribbon on it is that if a skill does not have an upfront mechanic that bursts its damage, it should have above a 100% damage effectiveness scaling. So just a quick example, Spear Stab has 233% damage effectiveness. It scales as it levels. It's level 14 right now, so it wouldn't be that at a lower level. 291% for Spear Throw. But whenever you're just starting out, things like Rake, it has like a 66% damage effectiveness. Rapid Assault, it's like a 38% damage effectiveness. And they just made a change to Rapid Assault to where, it's going to be doing a little bit more damage with the explosion and whatnot. But what I have a dream for with Rapid Assault is Rapid Assault should just have like some sort of a maximum amount of spears you can put into a target. And then when you reach that maximum, the next click of Rapid Assault will detonate those spears. I don't want to have to detonate Rapid Assault with Thunderous Leap. I think it's fine that maybe Rapid Assault just has like a built-in combo and maybe even give like an additional click required for the final strike. Like, okay, so the first strike is like a bunch of small stabs, and then the next one is like a big chunk that you like plunk the spear into them. And yeah, I think like built-in combos are like actually the way forward if you ask me. And then real combos, like they seem to be in pursuit of, those should be like chunkers. Those should be big, chunky combos reserved for bosses and rares that are a problem. I'll get off my soapbox on talking about damage effectiveness, and that's really like the simplest way I could boil it down. The reason why Lightning Spear is popping off so hard is that early on it's got above a 100% damage effectiveness, And the reason why Rake pops off with Stomping Ground is that Stomping Ground has above a 100% damage effectiveness for however much strength you have. So super, super easy solution there. Just raise the damage effectiveness if something doesn't have an upfront mechanic warranting that lower damage effectiveness, right? Just saying. Moving on. Let us have active defensive solutions, or at least let us have more active defensive solutions. We've got block, we've got parry. Even if, just quick to the side, I think parry should be like parry in every other game. So it shouldn't be this thing that you're just holding there and waiting for something to hit you. It should be a timing element. You need to be aware of when something's about to hit you and then parry it to bash it away. And it should not really be something that you can spec into as a build. It should just be an inherent quality of a shield. All shields should be able to block, all shields should be able to parry, and then the other defensive solutions that could be active are, say you get frozen, you should be able to like mash your spacebar to break out of that freeze. If you get stunned, you should be able to like mash your spacebar to like wake your character up faster. Anything that's like a loss of control effect on the character or player, there needs to be an active solution, and that will make it feel infinitely better. Infinitely. I promise. I promise. I promise. I cannot imagine myself ever getting mad about losing control of my character unless it's like, you know, back to back to back to back to back. But as long as I have like something I can do about it, that's like infinitely more satisfying. I keep saying infinitely, I'm sorry. But that's the word that comes to mind, and it really does just sound like a utopian solution. It sounds completely in line with what they already have in mind, right? Like, I don't think freeze is going anywhere. I don't think stun is going anywhere. We're going to have those happen to our character sometimes, but let us do something about it. Let us do something about these ailments being applied to our character. You know, like I've said it in a previous video, if I'm ignited, if I'm on fire, I'm going to go jump in like a pool of water, or I'm going to like stop, drop, and roll. If I'm ignited, I'm going to roll around a lot. Stop, drop, and roll, baby. Okay. So that is that. For the Ascendancy Changes philosophy, I know that they want your choice to matter. I know they want to lock you in. But coming from someone who literally had that happen to you, it feels really bad. I tried to make a ritualist. I ultimately decided that I wasn't happy with my decision, and that's why I'm playing this Amazon now. So I would say let us ascend like 2 times, and by the 3rd Ascendancy, if you ascend 3 times, you're locked in. But if you haven't ascended 3 times, you should be able to change your mind. Or maybe just like 1 ascendancy, right? Like, I don't know. All I know is that my experience felt absolutely terrible once I realized that I had made a personal mistake. I'm not going to say nobody else is enjoying Ritualist out there, but I made a mistake and wanted to change my mind, but couldn't. And the correction for my course of action was re-leveling my level 25 character, basically. And that took me the better part of like 10 hours, because it's like I'm cooking throughout the day, and like I'm trying to keep up to date on all of the different things that are happening, and I'm complaining and blah 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 whatever. But felt really bad. Felt really, really bad. And I'm like a full-time content creator. So if I were a normal player, could you imagine how exacerbated that feeling would be? Of like, you just spent like however many afternoons after coming home from work, and you realize that you're not really happy with your decision and you can't undo it. You have to redo everything. I don't know. When I lay it out like that, it sounds like incredibly frustrating, no? So the next note I've got is that the campaign acts need something like Tristram from Diablo 2. Whenever you create a character in Diablo 2, one of the things that you know, at least if you've played before, is that you need to get to Tristram, because you're going to be leveling in Tristram from about level 1 to level 15. You get pretty good drops from Tristram. There's lots of condensed packs, blue monsters, which are like magic monsters, unique monsters that can spawn. It's a great, great leveling spot. Great spot to get your character started. Garner some gold for gambling, whatnot. POE2 needs something like this. Diablo 2 has tons of these spots, right? It's not just Tristram. There's all sorts of spots that are just known of like, yep, there's a super chest there, or there's a guaranteed unique monster there, Pendle skin, whatever. So I like that there are some guaranteed rares in different spots, but none of them are as easily accessible or repeatable. Usually you have to travel through these very large zones in order to reach them, and it's a little bit of a slog. So there needs to be some zone to where it's like there's just like a rare at the very start, and you can just keep spawning that zone. Why not? Why not? Maybe there's an argument to be made for like, oh, the economy could be affected, but like that would be the economy. That's like a way to get the economy going, because right now what we have is just a little bit of a communal suffering. Not going to say that's like my best suggestion. I would say that's more of like one of the looser ones. But that's my short list of recommended changes right now. There will be more in the future most likely, and I hope that you will hear them out. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think of them down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of the interview that happened between Zizaran, Jonathan, and Mark, and all of the recent happenings. I'd really, really love to know what you guys think. You're all absolutely fantastic. Like and subscribe and all that crap, and I will end it there. Have fun. Peace out.